Okay, so I did this video already on my big, like the good quality HD camera, and somehow, some way, the shit got corrupted, and now it don't want to transfer onto the computer, so I can upload it. So I'm gonna have to do this over on my iPad. So sorry about the janky quality, But basically, this is about Frank Ocean and Chris Brown and their little spat that they I guess they had last night. I don't know. Um, and what's going on with that? Listen. So the story goes that Chris Brown and Frank Ocean were at the same studio here in LA last night, and I'm assuming Frank was working on some music and Chris was working on some music. The studio. I'm assuming that's what they were doing. Um, Frank tried to stop Chris from leaving, and he wouldn't move or get out the doorway or something of that effect that happened or whatever. And words were exchanged, blows were taken, and that's what one source said. Another unreliable source basically said, and y'all know who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to even say their name, said that the reason why this whole situation went down was because Frank called Rihanna a hoe to Chris, and Chris just got his Incredible Hulk on and just went crazy. So I don't know. A lot of people are saying that that Frank's camp and Frank perpetuated and started the altercation. And for once, I'm actually on Chris's side with this one because usually Chris is the one that's in the wrong, but I don't really honestly think that this time around it was his fault. I from what I heard, I don't think that he had anything to do with this. I think that he definitely probably was the victim of circumstance. And the police were called, and they said that Chris Brown was going to be charged for assaulting the alleged victim, Frank Ocean. Now, the reason why I wanted to wait to do this video, and like I stated in the one that won't upload, that I don't think that Chris set out for this to be something. Like, there's things in the past that he's done that I'd be like, he was definitely part of that. Like, he just seems like the type that was like, we gonna do this and put it out and da-da-da. But this right here, I don't think that he was part of. I honestly, in my hearts of hearts, believe that he was honestly just there and some shit went down. And Odd Future and Chris Brown don't have the best track record. I think it was last year, Chris Brown had tweeted Frank Ocean and said, I fucks with Frank Ocean, you a really talented dude, or something like that. And Frank Ocean's reply was, thanks, but I don't mess with dudes who fuck with that beat women, or you remind me of a young Ike Turner. It was something along those lines, and which was very rude to say. And then all of a sudden it just turned into this big thing. So I think that's where everything kind of started and manifested from. I'm not sure, but ever since that excuse me, I've noticed that there's been tension, and I thought it was squashed and it was over, but it wasn't. Now, they basically said that the reason why Frank Ocean was the alleged victim is because he got his ass whooped. That's what I'm hearing. But on a Bad Girls Club, when it's two girls fighting and neither one of them can fight and they let them stay. But if it's two girls fighting and one starts it but the other one whooped her ass, the one who whooped the ass gotta go home. I think that's why he was the alleged victim, because he got his ass whooped. Allegedly. Okay, allegedly. I don't know if this is true or not, but allegedly. So, I just think that the whole situation, personally, for me, is just whack. Because Chris, I think that you should stay as far away from danger as possible. And if somebody does try you, then just turn the other motherfucking cheek, go smoke some crack, and go about your business. And Frank, if you did do what they say you did, then you are just in the wrong as he is. Because if you know that this guy is having such a very hard time in the industry, I know that's not your responsibility, but at least be the bigger man and just kind of let some shit slide. I heard it was he said this is his studio and this is my parking space and how dare you come here. All this egotistical shit. So Frank tweeted Chris and some dudes jumped me, and I messed up my finger. I guess I'm gonna have to use both hands at the Grammys, or whatever. That was basically some Grammy shade. Basically saying I'm performing at the Grammys and you ain't. I guess you could say. I don't know if Chris is performing or not, because like I said, I don't keep up with Chris. Now, I'm not a fan of Chris because he beat Rihanna or because whatever y'all may possibly think it is. I don't like him because his attitude is bad, and he is invincible, and he can say and do whatever the fuck he feels, and he's never ever taken responsibility or accountability for the things that he's done. So that's the reason why I don't like Chris Brown. I think he's a great talent. I think he can sing and he can dance, but he's just not my cup of tea as far as a person is concerned. I do like Frank Ocean, not because he's gay or bisexual or whatever the fuck he classified himself as today. I call him Confused Ocean because he don't know which way he wants to go. And if you are bisexual, more power to you. All I'm saying is he never clarified it, but he did come out and say, but not really, but it was confusing. So I don't know. I do like his music. I did play the shit out of Channel Orange, but I did play Chris Brown songs as well. So I love Deuces. You know, that's much to do. Yeah. But so, I mean, it's not necessarily like I'm picking one side over the other, but in this situation, I will say that I'll have to side with Chris due to the simple fact of the things that I've heard and the fact that Frank Ocean got on Twitter and said what he said as if it was a joke. It's kind of like, ha, everybody's still picking on you, da-da-da-da type situation. So I think it's op-ed. It's just Hollywood bullshit. And this is the shit that sells records. And this is the shit that people love oh so much. So, I don't know. And I just don't care because they're both too talented and have too much money to be fighting each other. Like, no. Like, if I had that much money, a bitch couldn't say shit to me about nothing. So, and I think with Chris, he feels entitled because he had these little Hoover dudes out here. Hoover is a gang. For those who don't know about LA gang, get down. That he pays to basically come with him to clubs to be his protection. You know what I'm saying? And these dudes will do anything for a buck. So they're riding around threatening Frank Ocean. And I remember you can find it on here on YouTube where it was them threatening him, talking about get out the car and catch Fade. Fade means fight. You know, all of this stuff. So I think it's a buildup of things, and I knew at some point this was gonna come to a head. I just didn't think it was gonna be like this. Like, you guys are too fucking old, got too much fucking money, and too much fucking talent to be fighting each other in studios looking like straight grade A monkeys. Just terrible. You are perpetuating what we know to be a nigga, and y'all need to stop. Seriously, cut the shit out. So, that's all I have to say about the situation. I really don't have much to say. Sorry about the quality, guys, but this is the best you're gonna get today. Alright, peace.